Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you for being here today. I'm Fadila from Polytechnic Muazzam Shah. I'm here today to talk to you about our presentation research on the relationship between sustainability knowledge and sustainable purchasing practices among adult consumers. There are three authors in our group, which is me, Nur Fadila Zaharin as the leader, Hanisa Uthman and Nurul Huda Awangkalung. Okay, so here is the contents of our research presentation. Basically, the contents follow the common contents in the research, which is there is introduction, literature review, conceptual frameworks, methodology, results and discussion, and the last one is recommendation and conclusion. Okay, now, so let's move to the first section, which is the introduction. So the meaning of sustainable consumption can be described as the promotion of resource and energy efficiency, green infrastructure, access to basic services, sustainable and fair jobs, as well as a better quality of life. And this is to achieve development plans wholly, reduce costs, strengthen competitiveness for economic and reduce poverty. The meaning of this sustainable consumption is taken from the United Nations 2020. So this paper will analyze sustainable purchasing behavior of a group of young adults in Bangsar, Kuala Lumpur. So the focus on young people is relevant as young people also are currently growing while developing themselves to become future leaders, thus they are accountable for environmental conduct and sustainability. This is quoted from the research by Relic et al. 2008. Thus, this study will test hypothesis whether there is a significant relationship between perceived knowledge on sustainability and sustainable purchasing behavior. So stay tuned. Okay, now, so we are in the literature review part, whereby I will explain the influence factors of sustainable behavior. So the first one is the influence factors of ethical consumption. So a research by Breckert et al. On ethical use for eco, health and fair trade labels was conducted in France to 911 respondents during April to June 2010. So the result of this research is that it can be said that pro-eco label consumers are more educated than pro-fair label trade label consumers. So we can see that the pro-eco label consumers has more knowledge than the pro-fair trade label consumers. These findings also in line with a study done by Pinnock et al. 2010 about consumer health-related attitudes, where most consumers who do not really take a good care of their health is mostly male youngsters. Older consumers who age 55 years and above contradict with the young people as they are not interested with eco-labeling, because young consumers relatively support eco-labeling due to high awareness among their group. Okay, so here we are at the closest part of our research topic, which is the influence factors of sustainable purchase behavior. So, a study by Rahman and Joshi in 2019 shows that the drive for environmental responsibility has the biggest effect on sustainable purchasing conduct by consumers. This is the same result that have been found by Kumar and Godeswar in 2015, whereby the drive for environmental responsibility were made on the basis of individual, ecological, and social outcomes. Meanwhile, the study also found that perceived consumer effectiveness is a critical factor of the sustainable purchasing behavior of consumers. The results of this study are consistent with previous findings by Joshi and Rahman in 2016, which state that cognitive and logical assessment by a person of the value of has impact towards its sustainable consumption. This shows that a person with high knowledge in sustainable will lead towards their sustainable consumption behavior. Okay, next is the relationship between income and conservation behavior. So a study by Asmouni et al. Concluded that students from rural background displayed more conservation behavior than those from urban background. So this shows that people from low income family has more conservation behavior than those from urban background that usually has higher income family. However, the behavior elements that represents the higher conservation behavior among rural respondents are energy conservation, which is turn off non-use electricity and buy energy-saving household items, water conservation, turn off non-use taps, and recycling activity, use of recycling bins. And the result also shows that science students being the highest in sustainable conservation. Here is our conceptual frameworks for this research, whereby figure 1 shows sustainable purchasing behavior framework with family income as the moderating effects. So the relationship between sustainability knowledge and sustainable purchase behavior, which is the general hypothesis for this study. Sustainability knowledge is labeled as X3 in Pearson correlation matrix, while sustainable purchase behavior is labeled as X4. The result is analyzed using SPSS. Okay, here we are in the methodology part. Figure 2 shows flowchart of research design and procedures. This research used descriptive research, whereby it refers to a phenomenon, the present situation and characteristics of an organization that involves people, and the goal is to explain things such as market potential and adoption of a new idea or demographics and consumer attitudes. This is stated by Kumar, Talib and Ramaiah in 2013. Considering the pandemic situation, the researcher referred to the least sample from a study done by Ling 2013, where the researcher managed to get the total of 137 respondents. Since this type of research normally involves large scale of survey, thus it will be used quantitative research as supported by Kumar, Talib and Ramaiah 2013, where it is stated that quantitative research use questionnaire or structured interview because it may use large scale of survey. Now we are at the results and discussion part. In table 4.1 shows that there is value in the Pearson correlation, which means that it is not equal to 0. Besides that, the p-value is less than 0.05. You can see at the X3 and X4 column. Thus, the results prove that there is significant correlation between the two variables, which means there is a significant relationship between sustainability knowledge and sustainable purchase behavior. Therefore, the hypothesis of this research is supported. Here we are in the last part of this research presentation, which is recommendation and conclusion. So based on the result of this study, shows that there is a significant relationship between perceived knowledge on sustainability and sustainable purchasing behavior. However, the finding of this study actually contradicts with the finding of study from Asmouni et al. In 2017, where people with less accessibility to knowledge tend to have a better sustainability habits. But the result might be related with the family income and types of the specific habits itself, which is, in the case of this study, is littering. In the case of this study, both sustainability knowledge and financial ability of people gives effect towards sustainability purchasing behavior. People type 1 with higher sustainability knowledge that are supported with strong financial ability tend to do more sustainable purchasing. However, people type 2 with higher sustainability knowledge but have weaker financial ability have less tendency to do sustainable purchasing behavior, and this might be because sustainability products are perceived to be more expensive compared to other unsustainable products. Thus, this study recommends green company to produce cheaper and affordable green products so that more people, including people with lower financial ability, are encouraged to do sustainable purchasing. We are highly thankful to Dr. Muhammad Salim bin Muhammad, a senior lecturer from University of Malaya, for his active guidance throughout the completion of this research. We would like to express our deepest appreciation to Polytechnic Muazzam Shah for the financial support for this publication. A great thanks to all staffs and members of Unit Penyelidikan, Inovasi dan Pengkomersialan UPIK, Polytechnic Muazzam Shah, Pahang, Selangor, Malaysia. Here are the references for this research paper. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.